Hey guys, hi, hello there. It's me, that other guy from the first episode, Alex. Yes, thank you. I know. I've returned from my slumber in a cave thanks to popular audience-ness. Yes. And by popular audience-ness, I mean the asks of one person. Yay! So, I have been asked to tell all of you a story. The story I'm going to tell you is the expanded story of how I became a mock version of Spider-Man called Spooderman. Yay! So, raise your hand if you've ever seen that meme of the really poorly drawn Spider-Man. So, there isn't really a clear way that I started doing Spider-Man stuff. I think it's just all of a sudden I just realized I liked Spider-Man sometime in like the 6th grade. And then when I went out to recess during school, I would look out and I would see all the stuff going on and people getting like their shoes stolen. I don't know if that's just my school or if it's like happens everywhere, but that's at least what happens in my school quite a bit. So I just started going around and singing the Spider-Man theme song, like I said the other time. And I would go and help people, like get a ball out of a tree, or I would help stop a fight or something like that. And then eventually, I just got kind of not famous in my class, but as famous as you can when you are in 6th grade and kind of a nerd. So I came up with the idea, what if I make a Spider-Man suit? But since I was going by the name Spooderman based off the drawing, it had to look low budget, see. So what I did is my sister had gotten this tie-dye set for Christmas, I think it was. And I used that to tie-dye a shirt red and blue. I still have the shirt. And I drew a Spider-Man symbol on it. And I would say to people, hey, do you think I should make a Spider-Man suit, yes or no? And they're like, yeah, that would be really cool. And then one day I just showed up to school with this really poorly made Spider-Man suit that was just a tie-dye shirt. And then eventually I would make the web shooters that I talked about before, and those would go through a breaking process. So I don't have those exact ones, but I have more fine-tuned the design. So now it's, if you go on YouTube and look up like DIY Spider-Man web shooters, you can find things like that. I didn't watch a video exactly, I just took inspiration from them. But now I have just web shooters everywhere and a lot of Spider-Man stuff. And eventually, still in the 6th grade, I would think to myself, hey, Spider-Man's supposed to keep his identity a secret. I need a mask. So then it became my plan to somehow get a mask. Like a Spider-Man mask, because that would be really cool, right? Yes, Alex, says all the people on the internet right now. So I got a mask for my birthday. And then I would go around with this Spider-Man mask on, screaming the Spider-Man theme song, shooting my little web shooters, and I would just help people like that for the rest of the year. There was one point during the year where I was still not for sure what I was doing, that I kind of just decided, that maybe I wanted to come up with a backstory for my character, you know? He was this kind of goofy character, so it couldn't have the same backstory as Spider-Man. And eventually, my friends and I just came up with this story that I was web swinging across the city. Again, I was low budget, I didn't have that much money. So my story was that I didn't have web shooters. I cut the W in half and made a V out of them, so I had web shooters. So I would go swinging around the city, and then one day I ran into a wall, and I landed in a garbage can, and my suit got destroyed, and that's why I had to make a new, slightly worse suit. And then eventually when I went back to the dumpster to salvage my old suit's parts to make a new one, the story went that, so, you know how there are possums and raccoons in dumpsters? Well, they broke my fancy web shooters, and that's why I had to make the new ones. Also, I didn't have an Uncle Ben in this story. I had like an Uncle Ted or something. And as I kept telling the story, more people got interested, and more people started listening to an extent. So then I was like, hey, what if I form a superhero team? So then we came up with like the low budget Avengers or whatever. There was, I think, Kilometers Morsalis, or no, more salad, I think. Or maybe it was Inches. I'm not super sure. And there was Eagle Eye, like Hawkeye. And there was Professor Normal, like Doctor Strange. And then the weirdest one, it was Six-Pack Bulk of Root Beer. I didn't come up with a name. It was supposed to be like Hulk, but he transforms into a regular human when he gets scared, I think it was. And that's the story behind how I formed the world's worst superhero team. Yay! There's a few other stories that I have about the whole me doing weird stuff, but not all of them are as interesting. So, that's pretty much my main origin story. There might be other things that I forgot, but I think that's the main parts. So, this has been me talking about what I did for a not living until 7th grade when I got in trouble for doing it. And then I would just hide behind the playground and put my mask on and entertain children. This has been me talking about Spider-Man. And, yep. Adioses.